Hello, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of flags, some American flags that appear to have been altered in some way, with swastika, Nazi symbols embedded in the flag. And have been found placed in some offices, congressional offices and stuff. Been sent to some congressional offices, reportedly being accused of vandalism. All these different things because one was seen in a meeting, in a Zoom meeting, and was published by it was given to like Politico and other groups, and published, and this is becoming and blowing up as a big issue, especially after just a few days before or last week or whatever, we had the text messages and stuff come out from the young Republican chat group that we have been getting more information and stuff about. So this is, in my opinion, something that I think the Republican Party as a whole needs to be concerned with, and we're going to talk about it. So thank you very much for coming here. If you are new, welcome to ClearTalk. And if you want to check out more videos from the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, all that good stuff. That'd be amazing. Check out my other channels as well: JMDPLAY, JMD Puzzling, as I do a lot of different things. Consider subscribing to those as well, and like, share, help get the videos to more people, with the YouTube algorithm and all that. And if you would like to give any kind of support, there are support links there for if you want ongoing or more one-time donations. If you want to become a part of the JMD Nation, that would be amazing. And thank you very much for any support you do give. It's very much appreciated. If you are returning, you are freaking amazing. Thank you very much, and welcome back to ClearTalk. So, I have a article here from Politico. GOP representative blames swastika flag in his office on a ruse. So there was as you can see here, this was supposedly like screenshot from a Zoom meeting that an individual from this office was having with some other people in the Capitol, on Capitol Hill. And this image right here is the one that is of concern and kind of blowing up, where you have this American flag that looks like it's been altered throughout the red stripes, like the stripes whited out here and then colored in to create, the swastika symbol in the middle of it. Several Republican Hill offices received American flags bearing obscured swastika symbols. Representative Dave Taylor said a day after an image surfaced of one hanging in his office. Taylor, an Ohio Republican, said in a statement Thursday that it was a part of an orchestrated campaign. Numerous Republican offices have confirmed that that was just disturbing right there, that they are targeted by an unidentified group or individual who distributed American flags bearing a similar symbol, which were initially indistinguishable from an ordinary American flag to the naked eye. Okay. My office was among those that were subject to this ruse. So it sounds like to me here that he is claiming that they received these flags, but it was undistinguishable from the original American flag to the naked eye. So they just put them up not noticing that it had a swastika in it, that's indistinguishable? Uh, I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious. Okay. In February, similar flags were delivered via the U.S. Postal Service to multiple congressional offices. A GOP Hall staffer not from Taylor's office told Politico an image obtained by Politico of one of those flags appears to be similar to the one displayed in Taylor's office, showing a U.S. flag apparently altered with a red marker and whiteout to form a shape of a swastika. But the Hill aide granted an anonymity to speak openly, said that the flag was obvious and unusual enough for us to take a photo before throwing it out. It was plainly obvious to us that there was a swastika on the flag with the naked eye. The staffer said there was no investigation and the flag was thrown away like we would hate mail, the staffer said. And this is that flag. So you can see it's whited out, red colored in, but then they added these black marks to kind of really make it stand out. So that was certainly obvious there. And this was back in February. A different Hill staffer noticed that the flag in Taylor's office within moments of logging into a viral call on Tuesday, while Politico corroborated through screenshots of the call and a call log. Angelo Alia, the legislative aide who sat in front of the flag during the call, seemed unbothered and never acknowledged it, the second Hill staffer said. That staffer, who does not work in Taylor's office and who was granted an immunity because he was not authorized to speak publicly, was shocked, he told Politico. He took a photo and sent it to a friend. Politico published the image Wednesday. By the following afternoon, this past Wednesday, the image went viral, appearing on the homepage of news outlets around the world, or maybe last Wednesday, I don't know. At the time, Taylor said he called the U.S. Capitol Police an investigation, and a spokesperson said Taylor believed it was an act of vandalism. Taylor's office was not responded to multiple requests as to whether the lawmaker ever saw the flag and whether Elia is still employed by the office. The Capitol Police sent a generic response saying its public information office will reopen when the federal government is funded. After a full-scale internal investigation, I am confident that no employee of this office would knowingly display such a despicable image, and the flag in question was taken down immediately upon the discovery of the obscured symbol it bore. So, because there were people claiming that the image was altered and that it was fake, that it really didn't exist, but they are admitting here that they took down the flag upon discovery immediately. So sorry to those who want to say that it's doctored. It was not doctored. As I've said previously, I unequivocally condemn hate in any form and continue to collaborate with Capitol Police and the Committee on House Administration to uncover additional details in this investigation. It is unclear how the flag in Taylor's office came to be displayed, how long it was there, and why Elia seemed unaware of it during a video call. Because, in a video call, you can see, you get both pictures. You get the picture of who you're talking to, and you have your own picture sitting up there. You can see yourself. And how you could not see this sitting back behind you is wild. Taylor, blah, 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 blah. After, sorry, I lost my place. It was clearly behind him on the screen, the Hill staffer on the call said. The idea that Taylor never saw the flag in his office is plausible but it is not at all possible that every other staffer had no clue that flag was there, said Eric Smeltzer, something like that, a Democratic consultant and former Secretary of Press for Representative Jerry Nadler. Everyone sees how everyone else has their area decorated in a Hill office. Aaliyah, the Taylor staffer who sat in front of the flag, has worked in a legislative correspondent on the Hill since January, according to LinkedIn. Local news reports said he was involved in Democratic organizations during his time at Youngstown State University. In 2020, he was elected treasury of the university's College Democrats chapter. By 2022, he was president. He also participated in Mahoning County Young Democrats, the Vindicators reported. He was not responded to messages about the incident. That's interesting. So this is what's going around as and is blowing up around not only Capitol Hill but all around the internet and everything. So, and this is in lieu of, like I said, text messages that were sent by a young Republican chat group that was reported shortly before this. And we have valid text messages from young reporting Republican chat group was exposed. Now, I'm not there was also that said that there was no affiliation between or yet found between Taylor and this chat group, but this is a completely different story. I'm just going to this is all going to add up to what I'm going to talk about. The vile text messages from young Republican chat group was exposed. Vile text messages sent by young Republican leaders have been leaked, exposing how rampant racism, anti-Semitism, misogyny, and violent discourse were allegedly the norm in the chat group. Members of the Telegram chat group titled Restorer, it's kind of weirdly worded there, spelt War Room, reportedly said that rape was epic, referring to black people as monkeys, praised Adolf Hitler, and suggested that their political opponents should be sent to the gas chambers in leaked messages obtained by Politico. The young Republican leaders in the chat were from the New York, Kansas, Arizona, and Vermont chapters of the national movement, according to the outlet. The 2,900 pages of text messages sent between early January and mid-August this year laid bare how those who represent the future of the GOP talked behind closed doors as they plotted for control of the National Young Republican Organization. Politico reported on a hard-right pro-Donald Trump platform. Former president of the New York State Young Republicans, Peter Guanta, I'm thinking maybe that's how you say that, a staunch supporter of Trump, created the group and was one of the most prolific members, according to Politico. In June, Guanta, I'm going to say Guenta, mused with the group about how he would react to political adversaries who didn't vote for him in a failed bid to become chair of the Young Republican National Federation. Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber, Guenta allegedly said, and everyone that endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. I'm going to create some of the greatest psychological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers, Gwenta allegedly added. Joe Maligno, I guess that's right, whose social media profile previously identified him as general counsel for the New York State Young Republicans, then reportedly chimed in. Can we fix the showers? Gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. I'm ready to watch people burn, allegedly added New York's National Committee member Anna Kakady. The Independent has contacted Kakady for comment. Maligno could not be reached and did not respond to Politico for comment. Gwenta served as chief of staff of New York State Assemblyman Mike Riley, but has since been fired for his post after the allegations came to light. In another exchange, a member of the group told Gwenta that the Michigan Young Republicans promised they will vote for the most right-wing person to lead the Young Republican National Federation. Great, I love Hitler, Gwenta replied. He also allegedly launched an incredibly offensive rant about young Republicans in states that were leaning towards voting for his opponent in the election. And this is that statement. Minnesota, you can fill in there. He allegedly messages Arkansas inbred cow effers, I guess. Nebraska. Revolt in our favor. Blocked their bind and have a majority of their delegates Maryland. Fat, stinky. Yeah. Rhode Island, treacherous. C word. Who I will eradicate from the face of this planet. I don't even like. That's wild. Separately, in response to another chat member asking if New Yorkers in the group were watching an NBA playoff, Gwenta reportedly responded, I'd go to the zoo if I wanted to watch monkey play ball. Elsewhere, Gwenta allegedly referred to black people as the watermelon people. Gwenta was endorsed by New York Representative Elise Stefanik. Yeah, y'all know her, the one that's ambassador to the UN. Earlier this year in his bid to become chair of the Young Republican National Federation. Stefani was absolutely appalled to learn of the allegations against Gwenta and other members of the chat. Senior advisor Alex DeGrasse told Politico. Congresswoman Stefanik calls for any New York Young Republican responsible for their horrific comments in this chat to step down immediately. Of course she would. She's saving her ass. In a statement in Politico, Gwenta apologized for the inexcusable language and said he took complete responsibility, but also told the outlet that he questioned the veracity of the messages. Yes, I'm guilty. I'm sorry. I take complete responsibility, but I think some of them may be fake. Bro. I'm so sorry to those offended by the insensitive and inexcusable language found within the more than 28,000 messages. 28,000 messages. Bro, these dudes were going at it. Of a private group chat that I created during my campaign to lead the Young Republicans. While I take complete responsibility, I have had no way of verifying their accuracy and am deeply concerned that the message logs in question may have been deceptively doctored. It's like, I'm sorry. I take responsibility. I know I said some shit. I'm guilty. But I might not be that guilty. Like, some of this could have been like, why would the text messages, for starters, be doctored if it's already enough information in there for you to feel guilty? There's enough stuff in there that you should feel guilty, and that you have to apologize. If you did not do anything offensive in there, then you wouldn't even do that. And if there was enough in there to implicate that you are guilty without it being deceptively doctored, then why would somebody even go further to deceptively doctor it? You don't need to add to something that's already already enough to condemn you. Like, it doesn't, like, we're gonna make it worse. It's already bad. We need to make it worse in order for it to be viable. Bruh, come on. These logs were sourced by way of extortion and provided to Politico by the very same people conspiring against me. Guenta, who also said the leak was disheartening because of his unwavering support for President Donald Trump, reportedly claimed that he spoke with the White House and was seeking an endorsement in his bid to become chairman of the national organization. Trump and the Republican National Committee remain neutral. An official told Politico that the White House has no affiliation with the group and hundreds of groups seeking endorsements. That's the whole Trump like, I didn't know him. I mean, we can't control who asked for our endorsements. I didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, that's like a typical Trump response. I didn't know, but I also didn't care to know. They like me, I like them. One member of the chat is currently a senior advisor in the Trump administration's Office of General Counsel within the U.S. Small Business Administration, according to his LinkedIn profile. Michael Bartels did not contribute to the chat, but didn't offer any pushback against the offensive discourse. In other words, he was there just as a listener, standing by, going, but he didn't push back. Didn't be like, whoa, bros, like, y'all need to chill out. The Independent has contacted Bartels for comment. Alongside Genta, William Hendricks, a vice chair of the Kansas Young Republicans, said the N-word more than a dozen times. I wonder which N-word. That's what Trump would say. What N-word are we talking about? Because there's two bad ones. While Bobby Walker, who was then vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans, said that rape was, quote, epic. In a statement in Politico, Walker apologized, but said parts of the chat may have been altered, taken out of context, or otherwise manipulated. I'm sorry. I know what I said was wrong, but because he continues, there is no excuse for the language and tone in messages attributed to me. The language is wrong and hurtful, and I certainly apologize. This has been a painful lesson about judgment and trust, and I am committed to moving forward with a greater care, respect, and accountability in everything I say and do. But it could have been altered and manipulated. Like, I'm guilty, and it is wrong and hurtful what I said, but it could have been altered. Wow, these guys are something else. The Kansas Republican Party said it was disgusted by comments made by Hendricks, because Hendricks could not be reached for comment, sorry, and another leader named in the Politico report, Alex Dwyer. Their comments do not reflect the beliefs of Republicans, and certainly not of Kansas Republicans at large, who elected a black chair a few months ago, because that makes you completely innocent. Republicans believe that all people are created in the image of God. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that. And this again goes to the greater, because as Independent also states in this kind of rundown, is a different rundown. The Trump administration has been criticized over his connection with Nazi symbols since the president's inaugurational day. At the Republicans' leader's celebratory inaugurational rally, former Trump ally Elon Musk addressed supporters before bringing his hand to his chest and launching in the air with his hand straight, like this. We remember this. I did a segment on this. They were trying to claim, oh, he was just doing a Roman salute. It wasn't what it looked like, although it looked more like a Heil Hitler salute, as suggested by AOC and many others. And so this is an ongoing theme with this administration and Republicans who are like vehement supporters of this administration. And of course we have Stephen Miller, the damn near right-hand man that some people are even calling the prime minister of the U.S. at this point, who is staunch connections and rhetoric, that can easily be connected to Nazi-like rhetoric, and it is. This is what I think is really truly becoming a hard-pressed issue for the Republican Party at large. Because I am not in any way stating that this is the entire Republican Party. I know there are a lot of Republicans out there who are not full on Nazi-like right-wing ideology and would not agree with any of this. They, may have in moments supported the Trump administration. Some of them are turning away from the Trump administration because of some of the things that they've done and some of these connections that are being made. But what's disturbing is that this is the young Republican, federation. This is what is being. This is an organization that is designed to bring in young Republicans and mold them into the future of the Republican Party. The ideologies of these people, the way that they think, and clearly the things that they are saying, some of them at least, are concerning for the future of the Republican Party, especially the fact that the direction so far, has gone in the direction of the Trump administration and the stuff that has been connected around that. And then, the question of, okay, well, where's the Republican Party going to go from here? And there's been speculation and concern about that, whether or not it's going to, stay in a Trumpian fashion, or if it's going to go even further, or are they going to redirect and pull back? And this is, I think, something that the Republican Party has to really reflect on itself about, and as a whole, and even supporters need to face that. While some of them will be like, "Oh, well, yeah, we do have some bad apples, and yeah, they're but they're not that big of a deal. They don't represent me, and I don't really, I don't really feel that way. And they're not in control. But the thing is that they are growing and infiltrating the Republican Party and other branches and facets of the Republican Party and the far right movement. You have to accept that there is a far right movement that has become very strong in the Republican Party and is growing and growing and growing. And they seem to be unabashedly unconcerned with being subtle. They are out and open, and this is a problem. This is an issue that the Republican Party is going to have to face at some point. I mean, it's enough that, Democrats, it gives plenty of fire for anyone on the left or anyone just really left of them to hit them on. But it doesn't do any good for even really me to sit here and like bash on it, because they don't care what I think. But the Republican Party and those that are left in the Republican Party, whether they're, a part of the political machine, or you are a just, regular, ordinary day citizen voting for this party that you feel you feel obligated to some degree, or to vote for, because you feel or think that they are what you feel like you represent. But understand that there is a growing group, a growing movement in the Republican Party that is so far right wing, that is so far violent, fascist, authoritarian in the way that they do. They want, as it says, we only want true believers. I am going to create some of the greatest psychological torture methods known to man. This was the leader of this group. And somebody, allegedly, according to the likes of Mr. Taylor and others, are saying that, swastika, the altered flags, are being sent around, some of which somehow are being mistaken for actual flags and being placed up in congressional offices. people are going to have to start facing what's right in front of them. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but the Republican Party, and those of you who want to connect yourself to the Republican Party and still defend the party as a whole because you think that it is the better way, you're going to at some point have to identify and reckon with the fact that there is a movement going on within this party that is growing and growing and growing. And at this moment has power that you may not have realized. And that everyone is little by little becoming aware of. And it needs to be recognized and stomped out sooner than later. Because if we continue to let, and this falls back on the Trump administration and the people, and Trump himself, and the people who are connected with the MAGA movement. Everything. This is what you talk about. People being, the right, the left wing, grooming people. This is what's happened. These young Republicans are being groomed. They're being groomed in the likeness of far-right fascists. They're being influenced by this movement. Whether or not that was the intentions of Trump himself or even like initial members of, of the MAGA movement. This is what it has come to. You either purposely or incidentally have drawn the ire and the interest of the super far right to support you and infiltrate in to gain power, and they are influencing young Americans across the United States who are vulnerable, apparently, to this type of ideology. And they're emboldening them and grooming them to become the future of the party. And it's something that it needs to be faced, and it needs to be stopped, or we will see a party so far right with more power than anyone could have seen coming that could really change this country and affect the politics of this country, the control in this country. Before you know it. I think this is a big concern. And many will probably, will probably just toss it out. It's not that big a deal. It doesn't really represent the Republicans or it doesn't represent me, and I feel like I am the majority of a Republican or whatever. That's what some people are going to say. But I'm telling you that it's becoming more and more and more and more and more and more obvious. And the Trump administration, you if you don't want to blame Trump, that's on you. I personally think it is his fault because he's allowed it and doesn't seem to have a problem with it at all. But there are members within his administration that are clearly, it's becoming more and more clear what the agenda is, what their purpose is. And it all falls back around what we discussed before is the Project 2025 and the, Heritage Foundation, all these people who are, clearly in this realm or, at least semi-adjacent to this realm of thought. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until next time, peace, clear talk with love. I'm out.